Hey, folks. Now listen, if you sell anything, you should know the name Joe Girard. The Guinness Book of World Records named him the #1 car salesman ever. He retired at 49 from selling cars, and his record was not surpassed until 2017. 40 years he held the title. But that's not what makes the story so compelling to me and what I want to portray to you. What I love most about the story is he accomplished this feat between 1966 and 1977. Now, I want everybody to stop for a second and think about what was happening on the world stage and in the U.S. during those very tumultuous times. Vietnam, worldwide steel crisis, worldwide oil crisis. Dow Jones was down 40% from its high. Prime interest rate was 15%, and Joe Girard was selling 120 cars a month. Now, why am I talking about this? Because despite the news, despite the obvious concern for human life and safety, despite tumbling markets and economic disasters, despite recessions, bailouts, and economic stimulus packages, there remains so much business to be done, and the Joe Girards are the ones that get it. Get what, you might ask? They understand that the desire to purchase, to build, to buy, to trade, to dream, and to better ourselves as humans never goes away, despite the economic situation that we find ourselves in. Other things that made Joe great were service. He created the greatest advertising of all, word of mouth. BrandFace is 100% built upon that premise. And the one improvement that we could add is Joe Girard, the brand that means service. Joe had a brand, he just didn't know it. Caring for people was a thing that Joe did great. He commissioned an artist every year to design 12 different cards, one for each month, that he personally wrote to each of his customers. He started with tens, then he started with hundreds, and then he went to thousands, and then he went to tens of thousands of customers. His total career sales was 13,001. And when he topped that goal, the world was in total economic disaster. Every genre of business necessary to build, buy, and maintain an automobile was in the tank. While dealerships all over the world were closing their doors, Joe was selling Joe and delivering cars to the tune of 120 cars a month. Once he sold 160 in a month. One day he sold 18 in a single day. Why? Because service was his #1 product. He would tell all of his customers, when you need something fixed, you come see me and I'll take care of it. Many times when the customers would return with a problem, 2 or 3 of the mechanics from the dealership would get on that automobile for Joe's customers all at the same time. His customers knew that he was going to take care of him. Now, apply that kind of service to the after-sale problems that your customers or clients are going to run into and see if your business doesn't explode. Joe turned into a motivational speaker later in life to teach his sales technique to others, including Ali Retta, the salesperson that eventually topped his record in 2017. And when they asked Ali, how'd you do it? He said, Joe gave us the playbook. Here are several more tips that Joe lived by and flourished by during huge economic recessions and downturns. He said, listen and understand your customers' needs. Listen with 2 ears and understand your customers' needs. He said, have a positive attitude and stay away from complainers. He implemented the law of 250. See, Joe figured out that every one person would have about 250 close people in their lives that might attend a wedding or a funeral, right? So he saw every person as 250 potential sales, not just as one. And he constantly came up with creative ways to be able to reach out to them, 100% the BrandFace way. He would say, find your spark, your passion, the thing that you love to do always, even in economic downturns. No matter what business you are in, if you do not love what you do, success is very hard to acquire and obtain. I'm in the real estate business, and I love the real estate business. I would do the real estate business as a hobby if it came down to it. And I love it so much that my love is the driving force to our success. Your spark and the right marketing partners can be the path to yours, no matter what business you're in. He also would say, plan your work for the next day. Be organized. I had a friend that said that at the end of every day, your paperwork should be in 1 of 3 places. It should be in a filing cabinet, in the mailbox, or in the trash can. That's organization, folks. Organization and systems is something that Joe believed in fully. BrandFace teaches it and lives by it. And if you want astronomical results in your business, it'll boil down to organization, systems, and consistency. He would say, destroy buyer's remorse. How do you do that, you might say? I say, find out the why. Because after every deal was finished, Joe would always ask his customers this simple question: why did you do business with me? Now, imagine how powerful those answers are from a tiny little question. It gave him insight on how to see his customers, not how his customers saw him, right? Those glimpses as salespeople help us to tweak the strong attributes and change the weak ones. Always ask your clients, and it'll change your career forever. Why did you do business with me? Now, listen, I'm just giving you a few of these things that help the greatest car salesman become the greatest car salesman at the worst economic time for that to happen. And the reason why is obvious. We are in some disastrous economic times. But folks, in these times, all of us must remember there have always been these times. There always will be this times, right? Everyone likes to credit Baron Rothschild with a statement: when there's blood on the streets, buy property. And being predominantly in real estate, I love that statement. However, most people leave off the best part, in my opinion. He said, especially when the blood is yours. Folks, take what you have endured in your life. Take those obstacles that you have overcome to create that spark that Joe talks about, and let that drive you towards success, not shy you away from it. What is the best advice that the best salesperson in his niche would give any of us that sell things? The greatest car salesman of all time says, I never sold a car ever. I only sold Joe Girard. We need to search ourselves individually and start selling ourselves, and not just homes or cars or widgets. Now is the time to invest in you so you can help others with their desires and needs. Now is the time to reprioritize what is important to us and remember the human aspect of our clients. Now is the time to let them all know how important they are to us as people, not just as paychecks. Listen, there's more business out there than any one of us can get to, no matter what the media tells you or what the government does. And it is up to us as salespeople to put ourselves out there without apology, because it is out of that authenticity to our clients that we are able to help them most with their needs. That's how you sell when the media sells. No one says nobody is buying. That is a Joe Girard path to prosperity. And over here in my camp, we say prosperity favors the bold. So be bold, folks, especially with your brand. And thank you so much for listening. Be safe out there and reach out to us. We're here to help you help others.